Ready?
Let's do it.
Florida State returned some good players this year, but the freshmen are leading the way.
Yeah, obviously with Beasley and Bacon, two really dynamic scorers that very aggressive offensively because they can make plays, and they've added a whole new dimension to them, as they talked about in the ACC teleconference this morning. Probably the best offensive Florida State team in a long, long time. And they score at every spot, and that's when you're bringing off the bench a guy like Bookhart. Obviously, Tan Mays had a tremendous freshman year and has proven he can score the ball. And they're a little different because they don't play with two bigs like they have in the past, but they're still long, athletic, and get a lot of stuff done.
A lot of tough matchups, I imagine, at the guard position now with those two back there.
Well, yeah, this is the ACC. Always tough matchups at the guard spot, so you have to do a great job of guarding the dribble and do a great job of guarding ball screens. But, they can hurt you from the three, too. They have a junior college All-American, a kid that we recruited, and Benji Bell coming off the bench. He can score, so they got a lot of different options.
Was Beasley someone that you were recruiting when he came out?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we recruited him.
He just wanted to go elsewhere, I guess, or was there?
Yeah, I think it just, and obviously, the opportunity for him to go in there and play right away, obviously he has taken advantage of it. Right. He's a great kid, yeah. Great family, so happy that he's had the success that he's had.
Defensively, you're going to have to really get back on defense. They're a team that are really good in the open court. Really.
Yeah, I mean, if you let them play downhill, either in the open court and the half court, you're in big trouble. So our transition defense, and that's, you got to stop the ball, because if no one stops the ball, then they're getting it to the rack, and you got to watch out too for their transition 3-point shooters as well.
You mentioned about Charles after the game that maybe kind of got his bearings again. I mean, is it maybe just like last couple of games he's playing more to his potential, I guess, again?
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna, in a long season, you're gonna have ups and downs and so forth, and he's been fairly, in the last two games, obviously 17 rebounds a game in the last two games, 34 total rebounds. He's back to playing with the competitive level and that energy level that we need of him. I still think the next step in his progression right now in these last 6 games, slow down a little bit once he gets the ball in the post, or once he gets the ball in an offensive rebound. We've turned the ball over a little more in the last 2 games than what our identity had shown in the previous games. And it's gone back to big guys have had some of the majority of those turnovers, and so they just need to slow down a little bit, and they're big and strong or athletic, and they got to survey the situation and then make an explosive move. They don't need to, you want to play fast, you want to play hard, but you don't ever want to be in a hurry.
Naturally, you want to get the other guys going with Chuck also. At the same time, will make your job a lot easier. Yeah,
it's I think a barometer on some of the guys, in particular Nick, is the rebounding. When he's rebounding the ball, he's also scoring the ball. When he has 7 or more rebounds in ACC play, he's averaging 15 points a game. When it's under 6, he's averaging 8 points a game. And again, what is a rebounding is always a great barometer for your activity level. And so it's just amazing. Like we always talk about, in particular our guards, the more active they are defensively, it's amazing how much better they play on the offensive end. Usually with big guys, if they're active on the glass, then they're active offensively as well.
I imagine that's kind of what's led to some of the lineup changes, what you're seeing game to game, or are there other things that have been involved in?
A little bit of that, yeah. A little bit of that.
Probably your two most reliable shooters, Marcus and Adam, really struggled against Clemson. Was it their defense, or?
Well, I think that Clemson's defense was really good on Marcus. They did a really good job of having multiple guys in the gaps, different things like that. which led to us getting some pretty good looks off that. But if you're not scoring in the post and you're not making those shots off that, then that defense becomes even more suffocating on Marcus. Hey, you know, I think if you took a look at some of the shots too that Adam got, those are primarily some of the shots that our offense has been creating. So we just needed to make those, and he will.
When you get the ball inside like you want, and naturally you'll see double teams, triple teams. Are they doing a good enough job of kicking the ball out to the open guy?
Yeah, I think that's an area we can get better at. One of the things that I think we got to do a better job of is our post guys need to get that 2 feet, 3 feet deeper than where they're getting it right now. We need to work a little harder to get deeper post position, and that's either initially or off a screen or off a ball screen where they roll and now they seal off and pin. We need to not be satisfied with just getting the ball to the post player. We need to get the ball to the post player in the post.
I imagine in an ideal world you'd have your starting five and go with the game in and game out. If like everything were if everything were going the way you'd want, or are you someone that can move like in?
No, I mean, yeah, I mean, obviously, if you're constantly winning, you're probably not going to be. That means guys are playing well.
Yeah, right.
That means that's why you're
Yes,
winning.
right,
so you
yeah.
probably stay with that lineup. But you know, I think you saw it with Virginia. I think you see changing lineups more with, you know, in this day and age, and maybe just okay, these are the 5 guys.
Yeah.
But you know, and then sometimes I'm going to be honest with you, I don't always tell you why. You know, if a guy misses study hall, he ain't starting. But I don't have to tell you that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So or a guy's late for a class or something like that. If you're a starter, you don't start. But I don't. There's no rules that says I got to tell you that. You know, so sometimes, I'm not saying it's all the time, but sometimes those situations come up as well. You know, and that's handled within the team and amongst the team, and there's repercussions. Sometimes it's starting, sometimes it's whatever the case might be.
Someone like James, like he's been kind of up and down. Like, how do you get him to a point where he's giving you?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think, you know, sometimes. You know, when you're in the midst of the season, it's important now to take a step back and like with someone like James, you throw a lot of different things at guys. That's what the season's all about, you know, every 2 games, you know, and because as you and I talked the other day about our schedule, this is now we start another stretch where you go game, 2 days, game, 2 games. You play 3 games in 6 days. So there's not a lot of recovery time. There's not a lot of, you know, so practices are shorter practice. So what I'm getting at is, especially a new player like James, we just need now for him to understand his energy level, his activity level, his athletic ability around the basket. We need him to not be necessarily worrying about a bunch of different things and just go out and do that, because that's where he really impacts the game. And you know, to his credit, even when he hasn't played well, he's done some good things. He's kept a great attitude towards everything. So I really see him, you know, in these next 6 games and heading into the tournament, that he's going to have a couple really important plays and games for us. You know, I just see that. I think, again, asking him to do a lot more than maybe he's ever been asked to do before. You know what I mean?